Hello, I'm David Shaw, CEO Administrator at Nor-Lea Hospital District. Today I wanted to visit with you about a topic that we get a lot of questions about, and that's the mill levy. Nor-Lea Hospital District was created back in the mid-70s by legislation through the state of New Mexico. Senator Bill Lee helped put the enabling legislation together that created Nor-Lea Hospital District. And as a hospital district, we have board members. We have 5 board members that are elected to their positions, and they represent different areas of the district. And the district is made up of the Lovington and Tatum school districts. One of the things that a hospital district can do is it can levy a tax on the residents in the district. And so early on, after the creation of the hospital district, the Board of Trustees at that time decided to levy a 4 mill tax on the district. That 4 mills is broken up into 2 allotments. There's a 1.5 mill that is voted on every 4 years, and then there's a 2.5 mill that is voted on every 4 years, and they're 2 years apart. So it can get a little confusing, and it seems like every 2 years we're voting on the mill levy, but you're only voting on a portion of the 4 mills. The other thing that I think is important is to remember that a hospital district is owned by the residents of the district, and your board members are there to represent your interest on the board and at the hospital. And so it's very important that you know who your hospital district board member is so that you can communicate with them if you have any concerns. And always you can communicate with me here at the hospital if you have any concerns about the mill levy or the operations of the hospital. The other thing about the mill levy, it is specifically to be used for maintenance and operations of the hospital. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that here in a few minutes. But the mill levy, 4 mills, what does that mean? That means that there is a $4 tax for every $1,000 of valuation on your property. According to the tax assessor in Lovington, the average taxable value on a home is around $26,000. And the reason that it's that low is because there's homestead exemptions and other things that lower the value of the home in terms of what's taxable. So what that means, 4 mills means that on an average home in Lovington, it's just a little bit over $100 a year of tax that supports the hospital district. That's really not a lot when you consider what the hospital district provides to the community. That's how the mill levy is assessed. Now let's talk about where the mill levy comes from. We've talked about property values. The other thing we need to talk about, there's also a tax that's assessed on oil and gas production as well as oil and gas equipment. And that actually makes up anywhere, depending on the year, from about 35 to 50% of the receipts on the tax. And if we think about it, most of the oil and gas companies are headquartered outside of our state or outside of our county. So that means that a significant portion of the tax that's supporting the hospital district comes from those businesses outside of our district. So it's an excellent way to leverage the dollars that help support the hospital district. So how is the mill levy used? I mentioned that it's used for maintenance and operations, and so what all does that entail? Well, that entails physician recruitment. It entails supplies, contracts, renovations to the facility, salary and wages and benefits. It just about any kind of expense to help maintain and operate a hospital is eligible for mill levy usage. So let's talk first of all about physician recruitment. There's been a significant effort over the last decade in recruiting specialists to our community, and that has had a tremendous impact on Lovington and the surrounding area, even as far away as the greater southeastern New Mexico region. Here's just a few of the full-time specialties that we've been able to recruit in just the last decade. A full-time neurologist, a full-time cardiologist, a full-time gastroenterologist, a full-time pain specialist, full-time podiatrist. We also have a full-time ear, nose, and throat surgeon. We have full-time wound care, full-time general surgeon, a full-time gynecologist, a full-time rheumatologist, and we have several medical oncologists and radiation oncologists that work in our cancer center. I can't begin to tell you how unusual it is for a rural hospital in a community our size to have that many specialists. That would not have happened if it hadn't been for the mill levy and our ability to use those dollars and leverage those dollars to help us recruit specialists and build facilities to house those specialists here in Lovington. We actually have a significant number of people that travel from all over southeastern New Mexico to Lovington to get their care. And we'll talk in a minute about the economic impact to Lovington and to our district as a result of that. Also, we've been able to recruit a significant number of family practice physicians and advanced practitioners, as well as recently more pediatricians. In fact, in 2000, when I started, we have 5 providers in the entire district. Today, just in family practice, we have close to 30 providers, and we're near 80 providers total in the district. That's a significant increase, and that has a huge economic impact on our community, as well as a quality of life and medical care for the residents that live in the district. Some other things that we've been able to accomplish in the last couple of decades. In 2005, we embarked on an ambitious goal to build the Nor-Lea Cancer Center. And that could not have happened if it hadn't been for the Mill Levy Tax receipts and our ability to leverage that for recruitment. Obviously, the startup of a cancer center is very expensive. That has ended up being very successful. And now the community of Lovington and Tatum can be very proud, Lee County can be very proud of the Nor-Lea Cancer Center. It has really evolved over the years. We now have 3 medical oncologists, we have 3 radiation oncologists, a full service cancer center. And just this last year, we did over 14,000 infusions in the cancer center. So what that means is no longer do people in the local area have to travel as far as Lubbock or other areas to get their cancer care. And that makes a difference in survival rates. In addition to that, just a few years ago, we embarked on an effort for a quality of life improvement, and that was the Lovington Wellness Center, a 50,000 square foot facility with workout facilities, indoor jogging track, gymnasium, and probably the thing I'm most proud of is the competition pool. And as a result of that competition pool, the Lovington School District has started a swim team. And in the first year of the swim team, we had about 8 that went out for the swim team. Just this last year, we had well over 30, 40 kids that participated in swimming here in Lovington because of the pool that was available to them. I think that's been a real impact on the quality of life for people that live here. And we have about 3,000 members in that program. The other thing that we've been able to do, and I failed to mention this earlier when I was talking about providers, but behavioral health. Behavioral health is something that we were so lacking throughout the greater Lee County area. We've been able to recruit over the years about 9 behavioral health specialists, 2 psychiatrists to our behavioral health program, and that has really been a benefit to the residents that live here in the Lovington-Tatum area as well as in the Hobbs area. And then finally, the last thing that I would mention is the safety net services that we provide. One of the things that I think is so beneficial with the mill levy receipts, if you're in Lovington, Tatum, in the Lee County area, and you need care, and for whatever reason you've lost your job, circumstances happened in your life, or you've lost your insurance, Nor-Lea is going to take care of you. Nor-Lea has a team of people that will work with you to help you get insurance, find coverage, and if for whatever reason we're unable to do that, then those safety net services, those charity care services are there here at Nor-Lea to be able to care for you. And again, the mill levy receipts make that possible for us. Some of the other things that are interesting that we've started just in the last few years with those safety net services, we started a transportation service. We now have a couple of vans and a car, and we're looking at expanding it further, where we can go into homes, pick up patients that do not have transportation, and get them to their healthcare provider. No longer will a person have to cancel an appointment or not be able to show up for the care they need because they don't have transportation. Also, we have a team. We actually have about 10 individuals that are trained community health workers working with other agencies throughout the county to get resources and care to patients that are in vulnerable populations. And also in Tatum, with the partnership with Lee County, we also provide Meals on Wheels for our residents up there. So another question you might have is, what do we not use the mill levy for? And I think that's an important question because there are restrictions on the use of that. And I think the one thing that we don't use mill levy receipts on is for services outside the district. So anything that we do outside of Lovington Tatum School District, we do not use mill levy receipts for. We have a number of services, as you know, in the Hobbs area. We have the Hobbs Medical Clinic. We have the Eagle Student Health Center. We're partnering with the JC, with the Thunderbird Clinic in the near future. We also have the clinic on the south side of town. Those are all partnerships, primarily with Lee County, but we also have partnerships with the City of Hobbs, the Junior College, and Hobbs Municipal Schools. They're the ones that have provided the resources that we've needed to build the facilities, get those facilities up and going. And I'm happy to say today that those facilities that are in the Hobbs area are self-sustaining, and so we do not use any mill levy receipts to help support that. So anybody that's going to put money into something, they want to know they're getting a return on their investment. And I think that's really important. Even as a taxpayer, when we pay taxes, we should expect that our money is being used wisely and in the right ways. I just want to share a few facts with you that I think illustrate that the dollars that we put toward the mill levy as citizens of the Lovington and Tatum School District, you're getting a return on your investment. So when I got here in 2000, we had 90 employees. Today, we have 620 employees. That's a tremendous amount of payroll that's turning over in the district. That's impacting small businesses. It's impacting restaurants. It's impacting used car dealerships. Not to mention all the people from outside of our district that come here to get care, whether they be people from Hobbs, West Texas, other locations in southeastern New Mexico. I even heard the other day that we have a number of people that are now coming from Lubbock to get some of their cancer care here. Those people stop and buy groceries, they buy meals at restaurants, and that has a tremendous impact economically on our area. I know housing, we have the 60-unit apartment complex just right next to the hospital. I've heard today future plans to expand the apartment complex, possibly double the size of it. That's because the hospital district is here. That's because the community is so supportive of the hospital district with the mill levy receipts. It enables us to continue to grow, provide services to our community. Another impact, you just look at patient revenues. In 2000, our patient revenues were $3 million a year. This year, we approved a budget for $364 million. That's a lot of expenses that are being paid, salary and wages that are being paid, again, that are rolling through our economy and making a difference for our small businesses here in our area. And I think finally, and probably most important, is quality of life and health status. I'll give you a couple of facts on health status. 20 years ago, Lee County was had one of the highest cancer mortality rates in the state. We were the worst. Today, we are not. Today, your chances of surviving cancer in Lee County are far greater than they were 20 years ago. And in fact, our cancer survival rates are as good as they are anywhere else in the country. That's because you have access to care. That's because there's 30 family practitioners that you can see. That's because there's 6 cancer center physicians that can see you and a whole host of staff that can support you in a cancer center. That is making a difference, and that's what your mill levy dollars are doing. The other thing I would have mentioned is because of our partnerships with different entities throughout the county, the quality of life, whether it's the wellness center, whether it's mentoring at the schools, or all the other host of things that we do throughout the county, is improving quality of life for the residents that live here. So are you getting a return on investment? I think you are. And I think for the amount of money you put in for the mill levy, you're getting a huge return on your investment, and it's making a difference for people throughout our area and beyond our area. It was a pleasure to visit with you today about the mill levy, what we use it for, what we don't use it for, and are you getting a return on that investment? And I hope you'll take an opportunity to study the mill levy a little bit more. Thank you.